And we're live.
It's been so far. I've been walking the line on my own. Lift me up to the stars. We are coming home. I know we had a chase, but we're out of time. We have sold in the cold physical design. Set me free. Set me out of on the run. Lift me up to the sun, to the sun, to the sun. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Thought Process. Man, it's the first 2 weeks of January of 2021. It's already very unbelievable. I can't believe that it's already been a year, Greg, since this whole COVID thing, and it's continuing into another year.
With everything, I can't even remember last Christmas. I can't even tell you what happened last Christmas.
Yeah, I mean it's been crazy, man. Um, so how has your start to the new year been, man? Since we last talked, I think it's been a week or so.
I mean, so far so good. Um, the the world's still the world, how it's been. So I'm starting to try to find passive ways to use my money to make money. So I started getting into the stock market and cryptocurrencies, and been trying to see what people use um, to actually like make educated decisions on where to put their money, and some of the ways of taking a risky bet that could net you a lot of money in the long run. And it's been pretty interesting because my roommate's really into it, and he's been doing it for the past year, and he's been able to grow. um, I think he said he started with about $2,000, and this year he grew to 11,000. But he played some risky moves at the end of the year, and it went down. But he was convinced that I lost money, but it gave me more understanding to put money in other places, and
Mhm.
it's going to go back up. So it's one of those. It's one of those things where it's kind of a long term thing. If you do it in the short term, you got to know more scientific ways of doing it. You got to learn from the best of the best, kind of thing.
So it's a new venture for you,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. It sounds good. So actually, just to reference for the that paragraph, that line that I read at the beginning of the show. Do you remember "Ghosts and Stuff" by Dead Mouse?
The song, yeah.
Uh huh. So that's an excerpt from the song. Um, what is the first thing that comes to mind when you listen to that song, personally, for you?
I don't know. It's like one of the only songs I listened to in like all of high school because it's the only song I knew. And I don't know. I can't even really remember. I just remember hearing it all the time.
So for me, it's been like a song that I play, gosh, over and over when I have really good highs in life. So it's actually something that I had in mind this weekend when I took my family out for a snow day. We went out to Wrightwood, and when I got there, you should have seen this, Greg. We left here at, I would say, 4:30.
Uh huh.
Left here 4:30 a.m. We got there at 6 a.m. We were the first people on the parking lot. As soon as we got out of the car, it was freezing cold. Like,
Yeah.
it must have been mid 30s, low 40s, but it wasn't just the temperature. It was the wind chill. We're on top of the mountain. The wind chill was just like freezing our fingertips. I couldn't find my snow gloves, so I had to just, kind of just roll with the punches up there. But as soon as I felt that freezing cold, it reminded me of something that I've kind of had forgotten, man. And that was the the quirks of life. There are some things that because of the way we live now, we tend to forget.
Yeah.
One example would be, we all use warm water when we go and shower. So being like if you go and take a cold shower, it will basically shock your body,
Yeah.
right? Like you will feel all the emotion that I wouldn't call it pain, but that uncomfortableness. And it's something that I had forgotten about. Dude, we live here in Southern California. This 2020 was literally hot, like all year. Like I don't remember wearing, like I remember wearing sweatshirts, but it wasn't freezing cold. So when I got
No, never.
right, so when I got there, it was it was it sent a shock through my body. It reminded me, I was like, oh, this is what it's like to feel alive.
Yeah. Did
But
where you went, was it a windy road to get there?
um not really. No.
Uh,
Some
uh,
a little bit.
we all have weak stomachs, and we went from Huntington Beach up to Big Bear,
Hmm.
and that road was a little too windy. We're literally I don't know, you've been up to Big Bear before, right?
Oh yeah, many
There's
times.
that last wind right before you see the lake.
Hmm.
We stopped at the last outlet because we puked.
You
I didn't. I didn't puke. My
oh,
son puked.
oh man.
Um, and
Were
uh,
were they on the tablet or what?
no, see, I
Oh.
told I told them buy the tablet, give it to them so that um, they don't get sick. And they're like, nah, it'll be fine. And I was right. And then on the way down, I was like, let's stop at the liquor store, buy the tablet before we head down. Stopped at the liquor store, bought the tablet.
What tablet?
But there's a tablet you can take that kind of cancels out the nausea,
Okay. Hmm.
and so everyone took one, and no one needed it because the all the way down the mountain, it was bumper to bumper. We didn't go more than 5 miles an hour the whole way down the mountain. It was like a 3 hour drive. It was disgusting.
Jesus.
But we left kind of like you. We left pretty early. We were out of the house by 6:30 ish. Um, Made it up there by probably about 10. So there was a good amount of people up there. We had to stop and buy one pair of snowshoes and a couple sleds. We also got some breakfast on the way up.
Mhm.
Um, but when we got up there, it was pretty cold. But I knew the second we started moving, we'd be fine because the sun was out. I don't know if it was warm where you went, but like by the sun warm.
Um, yeah, I mean, once the sun came out, it was bearable. Like my hands stopped freezing. We were running up and down by that time, and I mean, obviously, well, we didn't have that fresh powder, which kind
Uh-huh.
of sucked. The majority was just like ice.
Okay.
But once we started like trekking around the area, we would get like the snow again. We
Okay.
start melting the ice a little bit, get it a little soft. So it wasn't too bad.
When we were pulling up, we didn't see any snow until like right at the top. I was getting a little bit worried on the way up that there wasn't going to be much.
Yeah.
Um, but it was funny because we got out of the car at the bottom of the hill. There's a Walmart right before you start going up the hill. And we got
Hmm.
out and it was pretty cold. We put on our jackets and it wasn't anything abnormal. It would be like 6 o'clock when you wake up, you wear a jacket because it's cold until it turns 8 o'clock, then it's hot. But we put our jackets on, we got back to the car, we took our jackets off, and when we got to the top of the hill, when he threw up, we got out of the car and we were all like, oh jeez. Ah!
Cold.
Yeah, it was cold. And we finally went up. We stopped at the snow shop to buy the shoes, like I said. And we asked the guy, like, is there anywhere free we can go? It's got a lot of snow. He's like, yeah, just pull out here, take a right, take another right, and then just go up the street and you'll be there. So so we go, we take the right, we take another right, and the road kind of winds. So we're not turning, we're just taking the road. Took us literally right back to the to the snowboard place. We're like, what the heck? There was like a little small side road we were supposed to hit, so we
Right.
turned around and hit that. And we ran to this hillside right next to a school district, and there was just a bunch of different hills. People were bombing it, and we got there. And there was like 6 other cars there. By the time we got our snow gear on and finally started walking to a hill, there was no more parking, and there were people driving up and down the street.
Um,
Houses that were there were selling parking spots for $20.
damn.
Like, yeah, it started to pop off over there. So we left at a perfect time.
Yeah, I was worried about that because, well, Wrightwood or people might know it as Mountain High Resort. It's usually really packed. Like
Yeah.
once you get snow, it's the closest place you could go. I think it's only an hour away from here instead of the 2 hours to Big Bear.
Hmm.
And once we got up there and we saw that we were the first ones there, I mean, I was so relieved because I was worried. I'm like, oh man, there is a lot of snow, and I'm worried that people were gonna beat us to the punch, but that
Yeah.
wasn't the case. We were the first people there. We were already like, I don't know, we were like an hour in before people started showing up, and then we had like lunch and we went to a different little area where there were some bigger hills, but because it was at the top of the mountain, there
Hmm.
was less ice, less snow at that area than
Okay.
the others. But it was cool, man. Um, it just again, it just served as a reminder of the things we take for granted. Like we live so comfortably here in Orange County that I mean, we don't really see temperature drop below 40. It's
No.
rare.
Yeah.
Maybe after like a rainy day during winter, but it's rare.
Yeah. We don't have to worry about changing our tires or making sure that we turn our car on before going to work. I saw this video
Imagine,
of a guy's wife who turned her car on a half hour before work, but when it was time to go to work, she couldn't open her door because her door was frozen shut. So her husband took a hammer to the door just to like break the ice up
uh-huh,
from the door to pull it. He's like, "Are you sure this is unlocked?" Because it was so tight on there,
right.
you couldn't open it.
Dude, imagine to wake up and shovel all the snow out of your driveway. Dude,
I would
that
not
takes
want to
a
do
different
that.
type of person, huh?
Yes, it does.
Damn. But so you said you were gonna show me a couple of videos of you bombing
Of the hills? Yeah.
the hill?
Let me bring that up. So I don't think I'm in any of these actually. So you can see like some of the snow there. Like there's a patch right here of
Mhm.
just dirt.
Right.
But that one was not necessarily the best one. Oh, this one of the kids just bombed it. He just got on and he flew so fast we had to catch him. Or he would have went flying. He's just
Nice.
like, let's go.
Looks like fun.
Uh, yeah, this one was good. This was a really long hill, and there's 3 people on this sled. So what we would do is at the bottom of the hill, we would tell
You
the
just
person
catch
in the
them.
back to put your arm out, and then
Right.
the other person will link the arm,
Right. Right.
and you'll slow down, you'll spin, and even if we let go, you spun, so you're gonna circle and slow down,
Nice.
and that was pretty fun. And then so this spot right here, this
Mhm.
is the best one because there was 2 different. Actually, there was 3 different ways. You had this
Mhm.
part.
Mhm.
It looks like it'd be easy to walk up, but that was just pure ice. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
just so there's a on this side of the trees, and then there's a big hill on that side. And this side here was not the best, but you could do it because there was 2 trees right at the bottom.
For people listening to for the audio only version of this podcast, Greg is just showing me some videos of his trip up to Big Bear. There are 3 I guess I don't know what you call them. what would you call that? I mean, three
Just
slopes. I don't
yeah,
know.
3 slopes, 3 little hills that are covered with snow, and they're just kind of separated, and you can't see the full picture. But at the bottom of the hills, some of it is is wide open, and you can
Mhm.
just hit the hill and slow down and be fine. But one of the
Nice.
sections had 2 trees at the bottom, and you had to make sure someone was there to catch you.
Oh, dude, we were in the middle of all the trees.
And
My
then here's one more. You can see we had to try to aim it to the right to not run
right.
into anything.
Oh, nice,
But we were
dude.
able
That
to park.
did you
Yeah.
guys have to share this hill with other people?
Oh yeah, we shared it with people. It
Oh,
wasn't bad.
no.
So you can see right here, right in front of where we were sledding,
Yeah, all the cars.
all the cars parked right there. So like you just parked right there. There's a little fence right in front, and you just had to find one of the openings
Yeah.
and walk over. It was really fun.
So if you want to share my screen, dude, I'll show you a couple of the videos that I have. So first of all, this is our January uh picture for the TPP calendar for 2021. It's between this one and this one. I got that
Uh,
lumberjack vibes. Um, check this out. So this is where we ended up staying the longest. I don't know if you can. Whoa,
yeah.
okay. Were you able to hear
Oh,
that?
is that slow mo? No, I couldn't hear it.
Okay.
Are you
Yeah,
on slow
it's
mo or is it not loading?
it was on slow mo, but I don't know why it's a little patchy. So remember how I forgot my gloves?
Yeah,
So I had to
the
borrow my
girls' gloves.
had to borrow my sister's gloves. But let's see. Come on.
So
So
it was kind of funny. I was actually really curious about how many people were wearing the mask because they were wearing the mask for the reason, or if they
mhm.
were wearing it to stay warmer,
Oh, dude, I was wearing it because it was cold as balls.
right? Because
Yeah,
I felt like more people were wearing it because they were staying warmer than they were wearing it to wear it because there were so many more people there wearing it than not wearing it. Where I'm used to most people not wearing a mask.
right. No, dude, it was freezing over there, so I was wearing it for that reason. Because we
Okay.
were we were literally by ourselves. See, I
Yeah.
I ate it here. I ate it down.
His
Uh,
sled flew out from under him.
then we have this one, and you see that there's like stumps.
Jumps. Yeah.
There's stumps. And,
There's a picture of me and my son launching off of a ramp, and in it you can see that we're clearly way off the ground.
yeah, dude, this was really really fun. So we took a bunch of slow mo videos. My nephews were like bombing this. My brother, he hit my brother hit a like a tree, like a
Oof.
log, and the log flew out of the way. So you can imagine how fast the guy was going. You see these
Uh,
logs on the right?
yeah.
That's what he crashed on into.
I
So we had those. Then I think this one is Sergio and I,
on your
and then
stomachs.
you see Leia. We took our dog, and she
Yeah.
was loving it, dude. Look at her. She was just like going up and down with us.
You had shade right there. That was nice. I swear I got a sunburn.
Oh, I got sunburned too, dude.
I was
But
standing in line at the snowboard shop and I saw sunscreen and I was gonna buy it and I was like, nah, we're gonna hit shade. And nope.
yeah, right. See, this is when when we had first gotten there. This was at the other
Okay.
part, but you see how much snow there was.
Yeah.
So this one was way different with my brother, dude. He's
Oh,
so
is he
crazy.
gonna launch?
He's crazy.
Ooh.
He went through like all the bushes. Dude,
Oh,
there were so many bushes there. Like you'll see, dude. Look, he just went through the bushes.
some
It
people
was,
just don't care.
dude. He just went all the way until the bushes stopped him, basically.
That's super funny.
But it was such a good time. Look at him.
Did you have to hike a lot to get to the spot you were at?
No, dude. It was maybe 10 minutes
Okay.
from there. But yeah, Yeah, it was a good time. It was definitely
Yeah,
a good time. It's
and
man, I
it's so funny how a lot of people hate the snow, how but we love it. Like my son, when we first got there, he was just like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and they had like no understanding that they could get hurt from this,
Mhm.
and they're all slipping and falling, and almost cracking their heads on the side of a tree or things like that. But
Yeah,
the whole time they had no like fear; they were just like super excited to do it.
right.
The first time my son was gonna go down the hill by himself, I didn't tell him. I was like, "Oh, you want to go again?" And I took the double sled. I took him up there. I was like, "Okay, get on." I didn't say anything about me going with him, so I wasn't lying to him or anything. I just said, "All right, get on." And I was like, "One, two, three." I pushed him down, and he went, and he's like, "Ah!" And then after that, he was fine. He was doing it by himself.
So he did it all by himself the whole time, or just the beginning?
No, there was a lot of the time we would do it in groups just because it was easier for people to take videos and just like you
Hmm.
would go faster when there were two people on it kind of thing, and everyone got a chance. And there was three kids who were too small to kind of take a sled up by themselves and get up there.
Hmm.
Like if someone walked them up with a sled and sat them down, they'd go by themselves, but they can't drag the sled up without falling down and dropping
Right,
the
right.
sled.
Yeah, because it's so slippery.
Yeah, but it was really fun. We stayed out probably only like 3 or 4 hours, and then we went to go
Really?
eat. Yeah, we went out to go eat in the town. There was a place, I think it was called like Country Kitchen, because everything that's going on, they can only seat every other table, and it was snowing and it's super wet, so they weren't really seating anyone outside. So we just took our food to go and sat on some of the tables that were outside, but it was an hour wait just for the food. They warned us. They said it was going to be a while, but we sat outside and waited for the food. And as we were waiting for the food, one of the kids wanted to sit in the car while we were waiting, so gave the keys to her, and she went to the car and she locked the car door, and she was not inside the car.
And the kid
She
was inside.
she she locked the keys in the car.
The kid.
No, yeah, the kid locked the keys in the car, but wasn't in the car. So we had to call a tow truck company to come out there after the hour and a half of
Damn.
sitting outside waiting for the food, eating in the freezing cold weather. Uh,
Damn.
After we had been in the snow, so like we're already kind of like a little wet and tired, and so we had to wait for the tow truck company to come, and so we all kind of just like piled into the second car that was there, and some of us stood on the outside of the car and just pointed the hot vents at us. And finally the tow truck got there, so we went to the downtown Big Bear, just
Hmm.
walked around. It's kind of interesting. One of the stores we went to up there was a music store, and it had like old vinyls. They were selling guitars, ukuleles, um, what else? Some collectible like cassettes and stuff. It was really kind of interesting, but I was like, how's this music store still in like business? It's like kind of a niche market in a very tiny town.
Right.
Like I don't see someone going to Big Bear to buy music records. I mean, if you're into that and you happen to go buy it, cool. But it's kind of weird. Like I don't see how it would stay in business. But there were a lot of other cool things. We went to a candy store, and it was super interesting. There was a lot of people walking around eating Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Yeah, we even went. My son
Classic.
got my son got a
Classic.
scoop of ice cream, and I got some hot chocolate.
Were you wearing your flip flops?
No,
Your chanclas?
no way.
Dude, I don't know. People are crazy. But okay, so what was your impression when you were up there with the whole COVID thing? Where people were like skittish? Were they on edge? How was the vibe up there? Mountain High for us, nobody really cared. I mean, everybody was outside. Everybody says, the highest risk factor is being inside indoors with people.
Yeah.
So being outside, I didn't see a lot of people, on edge or anything like that. Obviously, we all kept our distance. The our group was always together. Nobody has been sick. So, but what was
Yeah.
the vibe over in Big Bear?
No, it just kind of is the same as here. You wear it when you go outside, and most people don't wear it when they go outside. It's kind of what it was.
Mm.
I mean, we were sitting down eating outside, and this other group of four people came, and there was a table right next to us, but we had a bunch of screaming kids. So they took the chairs from the table and went like outside the tent and just like sat in their own circle, and they wore
Right.
masks the whole time. But I mean, they didn't say anything or look weird at us. I think they just wanted to be separate because of the noise from the kids. But
Mhm.
hey, I don't know. I didn't really see anything that was like, oh, you're not wearing a mask, or anyone really care too much. A couple of stores I walked by, the employees didn't even have them on. So
Nice. Have, did you ever? Is this your first time going to Big Bear, or is this you've been
no,
there a
I've
few
been to
times?
Big Bear. I've gone snowboarding. I've been to the three main resorts up there.
Have you been to the lake?
I haven't gone on it, and I've never actually touched the water. So if that's what you mean, no. But I mean, I've seen it. I've driven around the whole lake
Right.
before.
Oh, because for we were there for a birthday early or mid last year.
Hmm.
We were able to get on a boat,
Okay.
go around the lake, which was really cool, really interesting, really fun. The group that we went with was really fun. Um, did you guys? Because I forgot, I was gonna ask you if you guys stayed the night. You mentioned you guys were gonna stay the night and do the whole shebang.
Nah, we didn't. One of them was gonna get a cabin, but kind of was just planned late, and uh, all that is actually still pretty expensive
Oh
right now.
yeah, dude. I
So
mean,
it's not.
prime
Yeah,
time, right?
yeah, it's not really worth it. And it's prime time, but it's also kind of like up. People still feel like they have a little bit of money, and they're going out and spending it.
Well, not only that, I mean, you have to imagine people are just trying to get out of their normal life
Yeah.
because that's kind of what it felt like to me when we went out there. The whole way up there, I was just thinking like I actually wasn't thinking about work. I wasn't thinking about any of the issues that come with everyday life. I wasn't thinking about nothing. I was just watching, looking at the mountains, enjoying the fresh air. That's it's pretty incredible that it's only an hours away from getting this pure oxygen mountain air. It's very different. It's very different from the everyday city. Like I am a type of guy who has allergies.
Uh-huh.
So when I'm up there, like zero allergies, I can breathe perfectly fine. I mean, you can even tell right now I'm a little congested just from being here like for 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, man, it was just a little nice getaway from everything. It was a good break. It was a really
Yeah.
good break.
When we finally got home around like 9 o'clock, I walked right in and just laid down on the bed, went
Man, that's
straight to bed.
crazy.
I took off my jacket, but I didn't take off anything else. I
That's
slept
crazy.
until me and my son slept until like 10 o'clock the next morning too. We were
Dude, that's crazy.
we
I
were
mean,
out.
I was exhausted. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, because I drove there, I drove back, but we got up, must have been like 3:30, 3:40. We
Okay.
were we were on the road at 4:30. We got there 6. We drove down at 1:30, 1:45.
Mm-hmm.
So we were there for like 7 hours. Drove back down, went and had some lunch. Um and then we just drove home, and the whole, yeah, like you, we were I was just exhausted, dude.
Yeah.
Stayed home, passed out, and then the next day I was so dehydrated. All my face was like blushed, like like uh it was because I didn't put any sunscreen, so it was definitely I got burnt. My face was all burned up,
Okay.
but yeah, man, it was a good break.
And
I'm
it,
really glad it went.
yeah, I kept going that whole week. That same day, we woke up at 10, had a birthday party. So we went
Oh
over to the
man.
birthday two, yeah, two of the birthday parties we went to were at the
Mhm.
same house, just 2 days apart. So we kept going. We actually stayed at their house until 4 in the morning, um,
Jesus Christ.
because we're all addicted to playing dominoes. Do you know how to play dominoes?
Uh, I think so. Yeah.
So there's a couple different ways of playing it. There's one called Mexican Trains. There's one we just call Dominoes. It's 4 player, up to 4 players. You what is it called? So the dice have a certain number on them. So it can go from the numbers 1 to 9. So we call them. I think the domino game is called double nines because that's the highest you can go to.
Hmm.
Um, but they picked up one that was like double 12s, I think. Or no, I think it went higher than that. Maybe it was just double 12s. So when you first start playing the game, you put down everyone draws 7. So it's up to 4 players, you draw 7 dominoes. Some people play it differently. You can draw 12 or 15. We just did 7. Whoever has the double 12 puts that down. And then there's another domino that can be 12-1. So if you have the double 12, you have to put another 12 connected to it. And you're adding the outside 2 dominoes together. And you need it to become a number divisible by 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And then you score those points for yourself. And then you just keep going until the end and add up the points, and you play until whatever number you guys choose, 150, 250, whatever.
Hmm.
So we kept playing games. We kept playing teams. We played Mexican Trains, which is a little bit different. You want to just be the last one to put all your points down.
Is it the first one over the wall?
So it's super simple and fun game because it allowed us to not have to talk about the game, and it gave us time to just like shoot the shit.
Oh yeah, man. That's the best, dude.
Yeah. So it's simple math, and then you can talk trash to each other, and then you can make the mistake. Like I talked so much trash because when you place your last domino down, you're
Uh-huh.
supposed to say domino, meaning like you're out, you did it, you win. And I showed the guy next to me, I was like, no matter what any of you do, I win. And I showed him my dice and I put it down. And then it came to be my turn and I went to go place it and I didn't say domino. And he called me on it. And I had to draw 3 more dominoes and I lost. And that if I won that game, I would have won the whole series. And I was mad. I was so pissed. And I ended up being
That's what
last.
happens.
I
That's what
ended up
happens
being
when you
last
drop,
that night.
dude.
Yeah. You never be cocky because something could change. Be calm and
Oh,
collective.
dude. You know what you just reminded me of when you said that?
Huh.
Well, the fact that you're talking about that you guys were playing dominoes and you guys were just playing like the entire night to 4 a.m. It reminded me of a movie I just watched last night. Have you ever
Uh-huh.
watched the Love Guru with Mike Myers?
It sounds familiar. I can't remember it though.
God, it's so ridiculous, but it's he has this whole thing where there's a way to teach someone. I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lessons or something like that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so the first one, well, the acronym is drama, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then the first one is D. don't take yourself too seriously. Or actually, with I think it's distraction.
Okay.
It's a distraction. Um, is how he puts it, to distract oneself from all the shit that's going on. And
Yeah.
so that playing dominoes, going to the snow, doing all these things, just reminded me of this movie that I watched yesterday. Because it's true, man. Like we have to be able to distract ourselves from all the bullshit from everyday life.
Yeah. We need the hard laugh. We need the friendly competition.
Uh huh.
We need we need to be able to not care and just do what we want.
Well, it's important. I mean, this whole thing with with what's been happening with Capitol Hill and the election still not over, and who knows what's gonna happen on January 20th. I mean,
Wait,
it's
hold on. I need to correct you there. The election is over.
okay. So the
Don't want us to
election.
don't want us to get kicked again.
Okay, can you explain that or what?
So the election is over. There's a
It's been
legal
disputed.
process. It's
Hmm.
being disputed, yes, but it's just like anything else. So it's like if you're taking someone to court, whatever you're taking them to court for has already happened. You're not saying it didn't happen. You're just trying to get the you're trying to get the results overturned. So say I stole money from you. I have the
Hmm.
money. I don't have to give you any money unless I'm told I have to give you the money. So it's like that. Like he's fighting for the presidency. He's not gonna be given it unless he can prove that it was falsely done. So
Well,
there's rumors that he can do it. There's rumors he can't do it. It's kind of too late.
in
So
in a nutshell, it's just way too much BS added to everybody's plate on top of the everyday life anxieties that we already have.
yeah, yep,
So distraction is good in that way.
yeah. One of the issues I'm finding with this whole thing though is like I have a lot of friends who post things politically. I tend to try not to do that. If I do it, it's usually to someone specific that's close to me and doesn't care if I have a different view than them or not.
Hmm.
And people are posting things that are so contradictory to what they said about something else. So it's like if if I punched you in the face and you say punching people in the face is just wrong and should never be tolerated, and then next month you punch someone in the face and you say, "Oh no, that's perfectly fine."
You
It's
mean
like,
hypocrisy?
yeah, there's just a lot of hypocrisy being thrown around. And it may not even be hypocrisy. It may just be that they don't they don't think back on what they said and they're kind of throwing it out at someone else and not thinking about what they had said in the past.
Hmm.
Or even at the same time, some of these people I may not even be close to and they've changed their mind on something. And you never know when that happens either. So
Yeah.
sometimes you think it's hypocrisy, but people have changed their views on something
Mhm.
and you just don't really know that. And I think there's a lot of that with the internet because
Oh yeah.
you can't keep up with all these people. You see their videos and that's it. Like, you don't know anything else past that. So actually I thought about today, I thought about a YouTube channel or like a Twitch account that I could do that would be very like it would be very even and it would be called that's wrong. And I would argue every single point that's ever thrown out, even if I agree with it or not. So like if you tell me the sky is blue, I would find every argument in the world to tell you that you're wrong. Or
Wait, hang on. Remind me what the point of that would be.
there's not. It's that I can go around to any subject, whether I agree with it or not, and be able to just say all the points of why it's wrong. So I can never be looked at as like, oh, you're siding one way or the other kind of thing. Because then we would have a better picture of what is, like, how something actually is perceived.
So like a negative on top of a negative.
So the devil's advocate almost, essentially.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that something's bad. I'm just giving you the examples of why it could be bad. Wouldn't that be? That'd be so interesting, because then you're never, like, let's say I watched every single gathering in Congress, and I just explained why every single person who talked was either lying or misguided you. Every single person, Republican, Democrat, whatever you want to call them, whatever they call themselves. Then it would be even, and there's no, oh, yada, 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 yada.
People, but you have to remember, people want to be upset at something. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be traffic. It could be a color of a car. It could be a car. Like, I don't know. I forgot who I was talking to about the Cybertruck, Tesla Cybertruck. Oh no, that truck is so ugly. Like, okay, maybe you just don't like it. It's not your type or your style of car or your preference of car or whatever. But for you to say, oh, it's like that everywhere. Everything's the same. People will say those things about everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what team you're on.
Well, whoever that person was, I've heard that they're changing the design of it a little bit. So if that's not true, you like that design?
Yeah, I think it's different, rigid, futuristic. It's just mostly different. I don't like conventional things, but that's just me.
It just seems kind of funky, and like it just doesn't look like it makes much sense.
As long as it does what it's supposed to do, it's functional in a sense. I mean, I'm sure it's designed that way for a specific reason. I think that they had a hard time, like creating like the one piece panels, which is basically the entire truck. It's hard to do it in panels if it's not like plastic,
Yeah.
I was gonna go back a little bit to the whole drama on the Love Guru. Can you share my screen really quick?
Yeah.
So for drama on the right, it's distraction, regression, adjustment, maturity, and action.
Distraction, regression, adjustment, maturity, and action.
Yeah, so the distraction is like
in order. I just saw the other ones on the right hand side below me.
Or how he likes
loving,
to call it,
open-hearted, with my emotions.
Or GURU.
Guru. Ridiculous. I'm not gonna say the next one, but it's COCK. Wait, go back up. What is clarity? Organization, charm, and knowledge. Oh, that one's pretty good.
Dude, this movie cracked me up. Cracked me up. Yeah, it's funny.
He's an interesting actor.
Mike Myers, man, he's like one of those people that they can do so many different like characters, but for Mike Myers, he's kind of like the same person in every single movie he's played. Like Austin Powers Cat in the Hat, Love
Yeah.
Guru, like
He
all
plays a
these.
weirdo, like an
Which one?
eccentric weirdo.
Uh huh. Who else? Who else is like that? There's many people like that. I mean, imagine how weird it would be to go to work and your line of work that you're in is basically pretending to be somebody else. That must be really weird, huh?
Uh, I mean, yeah, because I guess you've what's his name? Heath Ledger, right? That's ultimately kind of why he died. From what I've heard, is that when he was playing the Joker, he kind of went down a dark road and never came back. And
I
so,
wonder I wonder if that was already in him, in that character just brought it out in him. Because
I'm sure because he died of overdose.
I
So,
mean, you have to imagine like the people who work as playing this character who they're not. I mean, you must be doing it for some sort of reason, like not just what like pretending imagination. I don't think that's it. I think that's more. There's more to that than what we see.
yeah,
Like maybe they didn't get the attention that they wanted at an early age, so that's why they seek fame or stuff like that.
the other thing, someone that I know said something today because we were talking about so there's Twitch.tv, a lot of video games, and the reason I know the guy is because we play video games together.
Mhm.
I was making fun of him that he was like one of the streamers on there, and he goes, "Nah, I don't chase clout." And he sent me a picture of like all the top streamers, and I looked at their names, and I was like, "Wow, it really is kind of like that. They do obnoxiously crazy things to get the attention, because with the attention, they can make money."
'Cause it works.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
the
they,
more
they,
attention you get, the more people are looking at you, the more you're going to be able to do.
yeah, like they might not be like that in person, but it
Yeah,
might be a character they play when they're online,
yeah.
right?
Like me in a video game is not the same as me in real life.
I don't know, dude.
Like my name in the community that I play, like the name I go by in my community,
Hmm.
they call me that name as a description of a type of person. So like they'll use my name, they'll say my name twice, like saying Greg is such a Greg. They'll do that
True.
in the community, or like
That's
they'll do it to someone else. So they'll be like, Marco is such a Greg right now. So it's kind of true. Like people kind of have said that in about me personally. Out like I don't know, you may have said it or someone else, but they use it a lot more in the video game scene that I'm in, and it's super funny.
yeah. I'll say something like when you do something that maybe surprises me, but at the same time doesn't surprise me that you would do it because only you would do it. I get that.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. It's we have to find a way to get back to I keep saying this every podcast, dude. I feel like we have to get back to the primal self of who we are.
yeah,
I feel like we're particularly me, and this is from a very personal experience. I feel like I'm spending too much time on the interwebs, in the matrix. Imagine Greg before if this is what we have now, and this is how we're talking right now, imagine what it's going to be like in 10 years. We're just going to be in a VR room talking to each other. Just, in real life, will probably be like 5,000 pounds.
Well, why don't we change something? We could still do virtual, but create the real life like excitement. Like let's say instead of me driving all the way to your house, which is pretty far, just to go for a run, why don't we do a stream and we do a workout competition? Because then we're still being physically active. We're still doing the virtual side of it, and it's no different than if you were right next to me in a sense.
So like we're just gonna break into like doing 100 push-ups.
Yeah. Or one day we just bring up the stream and it's tonight is a workout night and everyone can challenge us.
Are
Brings
we
it
gonna
back to a primitive.
pretty soon we're gonna find ourselves on OnlyFans.com, dude. I don't know.
Maybe.
I
What
don't know if
if
I'm
we could
comfortable
do
with
one? We could do a yoga night. Everyone can join us in yoga.
hot yoga. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it'd
I
be
mean, maybe.
interesting to do.
Yeah, I mean, we have some new plans coming for 2021. There's going to be some changes due to some circumstances. Uh, we may just keep it virtual for the next few months, but I think that we just have to adapt, you know. And I go back to the same things, like when we were just nomads or Eskimos or cavemen. That's what people do. That's what people do. They adapt. They will do things that they have to do, and it doesn't matter where they are in their life. They're just gonna find a way to do it. You know, whether it's socializing. This is one way to socialize. I mean, it's something that it's better than nothing, right? It's better
Yeah,
than not being. Uh, it's better than not even having this conversation. There are many things that people need to do, like getting out of here and going to the mountains for a change. You know, just going out there and burning up those calories and remembering how and where our ancestors came from. It's something that I keep saying it over and over. I feel like a broken record, but it's something that I feel like I personally forget. So hopefully these videos, looking back at this, it will allow me to remember so that I can do those things more often. And at the end of the day, dude, for me, I feel like I just need to get back and live life. I feel
yeah.
like I haven't. Everything's been too virtual. Work,
It's it also
you know.
sucks too because it's winter now.
Yeah, dude, but you know what? I wouldn't mind taking that hour drive up to Mountain High
Yeah,
a few times this year during winter.
February is a great time to go up. There's always storms in February.
Yeah, we don't necessarily need to go to snowboard and do all that stuff, but we can go get a slope and just go up there once a weekend or every other weekend. It would be better than staying inside doing nothing for the entire year,
Yeah,
right?
you could pick
So
up your cousins. I can get the kids here and we can go clean up the beach. Do something. I went and walked the beach the other day and I saw this mom. She took her kids out there with some bags and they were just picking up trash. I was like, I should take Oliver out here and do that.
yeah,
And
you'll
but
teach them a lot with that.
yeah, there was something that I did. What did I? Oh, just because of everything that's going on and with COVID and stuff like that, um, I made sure his older brother knew like if there was an earthquake or if anything emergency kind of thing happened, that he knew of a spot that he can go, that he knew how to get to, that we could meet up if anything happened. And just one of those things, just to make sure they're prepared, like not scaring them, just saying, hey, if anything ever happened, if the house burned down, you couldn't get a hold of anyone, you didn't know where you were, go to this spot and I'll end up coming there. And so with my younger son, I told him, I was like, you're gonna have to do something that I didn't do when I was young. He's like, what? I said, you're gonna have to be stronger than me. And I picked up his punching bag and he was like, punch it. And it almost felt like that time for your bachelor party where we were in that field with the bees and we just started chanting and screaming. I just picked up that punching bag and he just got up super quick and he's just like, "Huh, huh, huh, huh." And it was, I don't know, it felt good just to like make sure he was prepared for something and that he was putting in the willingness to get better. Like he's actually, I got a punching bag for him, and he's I don't know, his form is like super good, and he's punching really hard, and I thought it was a good skill to teach him because it's something that I lack. I can't fight beings. I don't enjoy fighting. People are like, oh, why don't you try like jujitsu or kickboxing or something? And I'm just not interested in it.
Hmm.
And so I don't know. I want him to learn functioning skills, not just how to write stories or learn about history. I wanted to learn something functional to supplement that.
Yeah, I mean, well, learning to you defend yourself, I think that's part of survival, and
Yeah,
we all have that. I mean, if it came down to it, you would have to. If it came down to a situation where you would have to fight your way out of a crowd because your kid was in danger, I'm sure you would do it.
yeah,
So maybe it's not a hobby that you're interested in, but it's definitely something that we all have inside of us. Like, so that survival instinct will never die in
yeah.
animals. I mean, every animal has it. Every animal will fight until its last breath, right?
Yep.
So it's something that I would encourage everybody to learn. In fact, Sergio and I will be hitting the boxing gym in the next coming weeks. So I'll do some videos. I'll post some stuff up. Maybe some of the workouts. Maybe you can come by and we can go, and even if you just learn the basics of a 1-2 punch, might it might make the difference in the future if something were to go wrong where you would have to get into that situation, or if you were in that situation you would be able to defend yourself somewhat better than somebody who's untrained.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, definitely it's a good skill to pick up, especially when you're young, because when you're young it's when you absorb everything like a sponge. So it's good, man. I give you props for teaching that to your kid.
Thank you. But yeah, there's so much going on in the world right now, and so many things that are changing. Like my son's school went back to virtual, even though he this year they never did virtual. They always went to the class,
Hmm.
but they started doing it again virtual this week, and it's kind of interesting because of his age. They're not doing like the full amount of hours. So he would normally go for, I think it was 4 hours, but now they're only doing 45 minutes. It's like we're not going to do more than that because of your attention span. Now I was thinking, cool, I don't have to sit here for 4 hours, and well, no, because there's so much about it. Like you don't, the parent doesn't need to pay attention to everything that's happening, but the teacher will randomly say, oh, get your parent to, like one of the examples, they wanted us to tear up a piece of paper into 12 pieces and do the numbers 1 to 12, and then the kid was supposed to trace your 1 to 12 and then put them in order from 1 to 12.
Hmm.
So I needed to pay enough attention to hear the teacher say that I needed to do that so that he can go along with it. But while he was doing his class, I'm sitting here with my headphones on, learning about stocks and stuff. So half the time I'm like going like this, like did she ask for me to do something? And so it's kind of like it's understandable because you're not gonna have a kid try to sit there and follow a teacher for 4 hours, because then the parent's gonna have to sit there for 4 hours. Now you got 15 teachers
Yeah.
for all the different kids.
And,
So
and then wouldn't you say that learning online is definitely harder than learning in person? Like we had this conversation earlier today about this whole we were debating the fact that we may go online for the next 8 months.
Yeah.
And you brought up the point of the lack of chemistry because we're not in the room. I mean, I
Hmm.
think that we're at the point where we may be able to be okay. I think we've known each other for such a long time that I mean, this may not even phase us, but for some people, you need that in-person chemistry in order to get points across. Like, dude, I remember taking a class in college. It was like math, online math. I could not, for the life of me, sit still, dude. I could not. Like, I could not sit there and like get through a whole class where I had to do the reading. There was no interaction with anybody. You basically put on headphones and you were just stare. I was just staring at numbers for 3 hours, and I don't even think I finished. I think I didn't even. I don't even think I finished it, dude.
Huh.
That's how bad it was for me. Like I would rather
I
do things in person.
I feel like there's different levels to it. I think from high school on, the virtual thing could be fine. Maybe even middle school, but like fifth grade and under, I don't understand. The kids don't really care. They're not going to be paying much attention. They're not that invested. They're more than likely doing it in their room where all their toys are sitting right next to them. So that's a little different. Especially my son at my son's age, he was trying to cut a circle, and I was saying, don't cut on the line, cut a little bit away from it, because every time you cut on the line, you're cutting off like your whole picture. And he looked at me, and he's just like he was giving me like the stink eye, like don't tell me what to do, let me just do this. And it was making me bad because I was like, but if I don't correct you, you're not cutting a circle, you're cutting your circle in half, and now you got a half a circle. So it it's
I mean,
the
for kids, I think it's definitely even more different than adults because kids at that age need to be socialized. If
yeah.
you don't get socialized, like I wonder what's gonna happen to all those kids who, wow, shit, man. Greg, what's gonna happen to all these kids who for a year and a half didn't go to school?
They're
And
gonna
it's
act.
and
They're
it's
gonna
in the
act like
middle
whatever they were doing.
and it's
They
in
get
the middle of their most some would say their most important development stage, which is 1 through 5. If you don't get socialized and you don't learn to be around with people, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go to the internet and socialize that way.
yeah, but I don't know, like the my son's brother. He the only likes to watch YouTube, and he mainly likes to watch people playing Minecraft, right?
Hmm.
But the way that they act on there to like grab your attention, like all the thumbnails going, all that kind of stuff.
For the
They
people
they
listening
start
to the audio version,
yeah.
Greg, explain the face you just made.
So it's like the shock and awe, like with their hands on their head and their mouth wide open, or like them putting their arms up, like what? All these kind of things, and they
Question mark?
yeah, and they all act like way over the top. They're all like when something small happens, like they drop a piece of paper, there's just like, oh, I dropped my paper, and like all these kids are seeing that, and they think that that's how they're supposed to act, or that's how it act, like
Mhm.
how it is, and I can see that his attitude is kind of like that. Like when he does anything, like he'll walk in the room and be like I don't know, say I have some pizza on my plate or something, and he goes, "You have pizza?" And
Like
it's just
animated.
like, yeah, and it's like, yeah, do you want some? And he's like, no. Then what were you freaking out about just now? So
Dude,
it
right.
yeah, they're not seeing the actual socialization of other people around, seeing how people are actually acting.
That's gonna really affect our those future these future generations that are coming on the tail end of ours,
Yeah.
right?
So that's one of the things. Whenever he acts that way, I make sure to say, like, it's fine that you do that, but that's not real life. So
Yeah, okay, well, you're one example, right? You're one of those people who will actually correct them. Imagine how many parents just hear that all day, they just ignore their kid. They're like, "Oh, he's just a kid. He's just gonna grow up like that."
yeah.
Man, that's
So
crazy.
so yeah, there's a lot that I make sure to correct them, but then also say you can do that. That's fine. But when it comes down to the time where I'm talking to you about something, we're talking.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing that's trying to be taught right now.
And then not only the fact that you need to listen, but to understand what I'm saying. I think that's
Exactly.
even more important than just there's a lot of rules that we impose on kids, like when adults are speaking, don't interrupt them. Like there's so many rules that we give them, but we don't actually really explain why. So they just like go on through life not knowing why they do certain things, and then they realize, when they're doing a podcast 20 years later, it's so messed up.
Yeah, that's one of the things too. The kids interrupt all the time, and I say, "Hey, you need to stop." And then afterwards, I say, "Hey, the reason I said you need to stop is because someone was talking. You wait for them to finish, and then you can talk. Like you don't just walk up to us, stand there, and look at us, and we just ignore you.
Mhm.
Just wait your turn, and then say what you got to say."
But you even have to go even further. Why do you have to do that? Let me put you on the spot.
Because you don't want to just jump into and make it so the other people who are already talking can't finish what they're saying. Just courtesy.
Okay, there you go. So you just have to go that extra step.
So it's the same thing that if they do something towards me and they're not understanding why it's not okay and they keep doing it, I put it in the back of my head and I wait until I can do it back to them. And I teach them that way.
Yeah.
So like my son, he likes to walk up to me and grab my belly fat and just pinch it and yell belly. And so when he's not paying attention, I walk up to him and I go, bah, belly, and he goes, ah, that's not nice. Yeah, I told you.
Oh
He's
man.
very understanding because I've been consistent with him like that. Where it's like if I say that it's not okay, then I'm not gonna do it back to you. So like if I say the word stupid, he'll look at me, he'll go, Dad, you can't say that. And I'm like, oh, you're right. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. So I don't know. Some people some people just don't like to work on their kids. Just like they're gonna grow up and learn. And it's like they don't grow up and learn if no one teaches them. Or if they
Greg,
if they can't teach themselves, they're not gonna learn it.
you want to know the bitter truth? Some people, I would say most people, don't even want to work on themselves.
Yeah.
Like it's something that it's been on my mind a lot, man. It's because it's okay. Today is already the 12th, January 12th of a new year, and I feel like I'm still in the same place where I was in December. Like I was thinking, oh, next month, next like we have this wishful and delusional thinking that, like, for me personally, I feel like if I don't take action in the morning, my whole day will domino into shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's just how I am. I don't know if people are like that, or some people struggle with that, or some people, maybe they can turn around their day with at the end of the day. Or I don't know. But me personally, if if in the morning, like let's say that I skip taking a shower because I'm gonna be home and I'm gonna be comfortable, like my whole day would just dominate into shit. So there are things like that that I feel like people, it's hard to overcome, and just the thought of the work that it takes to overcome those things trump the motivation.
Yeah.
So sometimes, we say, well, January 1st, we're going to be new year, new me. It's a common thing that people say. It's a common slogan amongst all people. I'm going to exercise, I'm going to do this, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to become successful, I'm going to read books, whatever the case is, it may be, right? Once you start and you feel the pain of what it actually takes to get to do those things, like you think that you're better off just regressing to being comfortable.
Yeah.
It's true for me. It's true for me. I've been like that.
Uh, I'm usually not exactly that way, but a little bit. So I'll start my day, and if I'm productive at some point of the day. But I'm only productive as long as I don't stop. So like, let's say I go out and I haven't done the dishes in like 2 weeks, so my kitchen is just completely trashed. I go out there and it takes me like an hour and a half to do all of that. My
Hmm.
hands are all pruny. I'm tired. I want to go take a shower. I'll stop. I'll go take a shower. I'm done for the day. Done. Like
uh,
it's the same thing. Like say I have something to do in the morning and I have to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm done by like 11 o'clock. I go home 11:30. I have some lunch. My day's done. I'm not going anywhere else. Someone calls me and wants to go hang out. There's a 50-50 chance I'll say no. Like I'm very much like I have one section of the day that I can be very productive with, and it's not consistent. It just it only lasts for so long.
you know what? I think that's true. I think that's true for everybody. I think it was. Let me see if I can get his name. Uh, I forget what his. Well, his name is Naval Ravikant. I don't know if that's how you say it. But
I don't know that.
Naval, he's like a famous angel investor.
Okay.
Um, he's pretty wealthy, but his the way he thinks is really really unique. But he says that you only have 2 hours of the day to be creative, so use those 2 hours, you know, as as productively as possible. So just
Okay.
figure it out. Just try to schedule your days in that way. So it might be worth the search. If you're somebody who wants to get to the next level and you seem to be stumbling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just looked him up. I know him by his look.
Oh yeah, yeah. You've got a very unique look.
I don't really remember any of his talks or anything like that.
Yeah, he's really interesting. It'd be worth checking him out.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's just we just have to roll with the punches, try to get better every day. Don't forget to take a breath and do what you got to do. You're not supposed to just. It's not natural to always be 100% and always going pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
You got to take some time. If you're in Orange County, right now is the time to go to the mountains. I think that there's a few storms coming our way, mid or late January, early February. So it'd be worth checking out where I went, which is Brightwood, California, also known as Mountain High Resort, or where Greg went, which is Big Bear Lake, California. If you're in Orange County, it's only an hour to 2 hours away, and yeah, go take a fresh breath of air, COVID free. You know.
Yeah, even going somewhere that just you're not accustomed to. Like my
Get it?
parents just left and moved to Arizona, and even going there, you don't have you don't have the stuff around you that you're used to, and you're willing to just sit there, hang out, and talk. Like there was a huge difference when my parents lived like 20 minutes from me. I'd go over there, we'd sit down, we'd talk, and maybe we'll watch something. But when we
Hmm.
go to the house now, we're just sitting there watching it or talking or playing a game or going to eat or something. And it does seem,
Gotta get out of the norm.
yeah, you got to throw things away quicker.
Yeah.
Got to throw
Yeah.
distractions away quicker.
So Greg, before we wrap this up, so we'll be here Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Guys, let us know what you think of the new format. It's going to be temporary, not forever. It's something that we have to do to adapt to some new circumstances that are coming our way. If tell us what you think. If you like this format better than the other one, let us know. We're open for all the feedback. Greg, where can they see us?
You can check us out on Instagram at TPP is loading. We post every time before we go live, about 10 minutes beforehand. We usually do it through the story, so it's we do a fun one. Most of the time, it's something funny too, so it's worth just checking out just to see the meme of us. You can also look us up at Teespring. It's actually in the description if you want to do any of the merch. We have a poster and oh my blanket. I was gonna say a hat. It's a shirt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're also going to be trying a few different things out with the social media. So we're also on Facebook at TPP is loading. Um, we got Instagram. What else am I looking at?
Twitter,
Yeah,
Instagram,
we're on Twitter too.
audio,
Uh,
audio versions available on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast, Stitcher, everything.
yeah, anything and everything you get your podcast on. If you want to get direct contact with us, it'd be easiest through YouTube and Instagram. Um, but yeah, hit us up with some suggestions if there's some kind of topic you guys are very interested in. We do rabbit holes where we take a subject and we do the research live with you guys and just go down the rabbit hole wherever it takes us. Sometimes it gets funny, sometimes we get banned. But anything else you'd like to talk
No,
about there?
no, I think that Thursday we're gonna have a rabbit hole, as you said. It should be really fun. We got a really good, interesting topic that we want to go over, and I'm just gonna close out the podcast with a another excerpt of Ghost and Stuff by Dead Mouse. The lyrics from that song that says, "Take it back when she knows that you're doing it right, because everybody else knows what they're taking tonight." I don't know what that means, but it sounds provocative, and I know it keep going.
Oh,
So, with that, thank you guys for joining us. Hope you guys like the new format. Again, give us some feedback, and we'll talk to you guys later on Thursday this week.
all right, see you then, guys. Thanks.